CTV News political commentator, former leader of the NDP, Tom Mulcair, who's joining us from Quebec with more on what Legault is trying to say here and this huge firestorm for him. Tom.
Good to be with you, Todd. Well, I think that anybody who can remember the old Hogan's Heroes will understand the reference. Mr. Legault put up a Sergeant Schultz defense. I know nothing. So he's the Premier of Quebec. He has his own ministry, which is the Ministry of the Executive Council, that sees absolutely everything go on its control tower. They have ministers, a Minister of Transportation, who is ultimately responsible for that automobile insurance board. But none of those ministers said that they were aware of these massive cost overruns, but the paper trail is starting to prove the contrary. So Legault is in a spot of trouble. So what he's doing, of course, is pulling the fire alarm. He announced today that he unilaterally is going to delay the start of the National Assembly season by 2 weeks. He says he needs that time to have a massive cabinet shuffle. So what he's going to do, obviously, is shuffle out some of the people he's going to be pointing to. You know, everybody who gets thrown under the bus then gets shuffled out of his cabinet. One person announced this morning she wanted to get ahead of it. She's the very respected municipal affairs minister, and she announced that she's quitting provincial politics. She's going to run as mayor of a very large town in a city called Saguenay. So it's an absolute mess that is of the making of the CAQ government, and it is again an indication that the administration of this government. You know, we talk about scandals sometimes about politicians who receive a brown envelope full of cash. Here, the scandal appears to be political in terms of the administration, but nobody is accusing anybody on the political side of having taken money. But on the bureaucratic side, there is a specific police force created to deal with corruption. It's called UPAC. And UPAC tried to get the documents out of the Automobile Insurance Board, and they were blocked. Even though it's a government agency, they said, oh, it's solicitor-client privilege. And everybody just scratched their head saying, but the client is the Quebec government, and they're asking for these documents. Now, Legault had to move in on that one. It was just too grotesque. He absolutely ordered the government agency to hand over all the documents. But there are already very serious reports saying that there were 4 people on the take inside the Automobile Insurance Board, which would help explain this $500 million cost overrun. So the $600 million price tag to change computer systems wasn't enough. It's going to be $1.1 billion, and it makes the scandal in Ottawa over the Phoenix pay system look like chump change.
Yeah, so I wonder how you see this playing out now for Legault and his CAQ-CAQ government, Tom.
Legault is very much in the same position that Trudeau was in about a year ago. Legault's giving himself the fall. He's going to try to hit every button on his dashboard because there are red flashing lights everywhere. He's going to try to grab this thing, the oldest trick in the book, do a massive cabinet shuffle, and hope that something comes out of that. That's what Trudeau did, by the way, last December. And then he realized it was too late. He was 27 points behind in the polls, and he announced his resignation on January 6th. I'm expecting, Todd, very much the same thing from Legault. His numbers are are tanking. Every single poll shows that he hasn't got the slightest chance of being reelected. The Parti Québécois, unfortunately, the separatists, they're resurgent right now because they're picking up all of the anti-Legault vote. Once things start to settle down, I'm expecting to see the Quebec Liberals doing a lot better. I'm expecting to see other parties start to even this thing out. But for now, Parti Québécois is resurgent, and they would win a huge majority based on the current polling if an election were held today.
Political commentator Tom Mulcair, looking forward to further conversations on this one, my friend. Thank you in the meantime.
All the best, Todd.